I have so much to talk to today. My head's about to explode, and I didn't know where to start, but I'm going to start here. I want to speak to today something that's very important. This is the sexual vulnerability of man and why potentially porn is so attractive. Now, this isn't approving pornography. This is actually not about whether pornography is good or bad. This is about understanding why pornography is so safe for men because of our sexual vulnerabilities. And this is a conversation that not only needs to be had here, of course, on social media and with the masses, but in intimate circles and in deeper intimate connections. And so when we begin to understand what are the sexual vulnerabilities of man, or why is pornography so attractive, particularly to men, not just men, of course, women and all people, but particularly to men. And so we look at this. First of all, in pornography, the woman is always satisfied. The man can't do anything wrong. And therefore, when we're looking at that, there's this instinctual behavior that comes through, this unconscious patterning that comes through for men, where if they're seeing pleasure in the woman's experiencing pleasure, well, what's happening is that infers that he's not being predatory. That infers that he is safe. And if he can be safe and he's experiencing pleasure in the woman, then he feels good. One of the greatest accolades men will state about women or in sexuality or sexual interaction is that they want the woman to be happy. There's something that drives that biologically, and I've just mentioned that. The second is there's no rejection or humiliation. Humiliation is the bane of men's existence. It's so painful. There's no rejection and humiliation in pornography. It's easy in that sense. There's guaranteed to be no rejection with what they're observing, what we're observing as men. Isn't that interesting? No rejection, no humiliation. I find that super powerful. The next piece is that a woman is always in her pleasure. Always in her pleasure. In pornography. And so the man experiences this. He doesn't have to experience the heartache of not performing, of not being enough, of not being seen as good enough, of having some form of performance anxiety. This goes away with pornography. And the woman is always interested, always available, always there, always present. And so for a man, these are some of the reasons why pornography is so attractive and it's so appealing. And it's not that being in the physical presence of another human being is not. It's that all of these desires, these unconscious patterns that reside within us, these desires to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, to be appreciated, to not be rejected, to not be humiliated, what we also avert, it's present in pornography. Now, this isn't a conversation about is pornography good or is it bad? Is it healthy or is it unhealthy? That's a separate conversation. Let's perhaps begin to understand what drives the attraction towards pornography. What are the sexual vulnerabilities of man? And if we all yearn for intimate connection, if we all yearn and we all desire to be deeply present to each other, we crave intimate touch, we crave emotional, erotic, sensual connection. How can we bridge the gap between what we're experiencing in the virtual world? It's interesting that over half Americans would say that they would be happy to have sex with a robot. Oh, where are we going? What is happening? What is driving that behavior? It's not because a robot is more attractive or an AI is more attractive or a sex doll is more attractive than a human being, than the flesh and the intimacy and the touch of a living, sentient, vibrant being. No, not at all. It's because there are fears there that are driving our behavior. And so when we address these fears and we go deep and we come from a place of understanding and compassion, the whole world around us changes. And so my invitation to you is to understand the vulnerabilities of your own self, understand the vulnerabilities of the other sex, understand the vulnerabilities of your partner, understand all partners, understand the vulnerabilities of those people that are close to you that you care about. Pay attention to those vulnerabilities and those insecurities that people feel, and don't feed them by making them a victim, don't feed them by sympathizing, and don't feed them by rejecting their fear of rejection, or rejecting them for having a fear of rejection, because that reinforces the fear as an example. How can we come together is a beautiful question. How can we come together to grow together, to connect together, to be intimate together? Because we all crave intimate connection and touch. And that's a beautiful place to be. Many blessings on your journey. I'll see you soon.